You know, there's a special place in hell for people like this that sexually abuse other people. And in that special place in hell, there's a special section for people that sexually abuse mentally challenged people who don't have the ability to defend themselves. This particular situation occurred in Idaho, and it entailed a mentally challenged black student who was able to make a football team, and his white teammates that took advantage of him and raped him anally with a coat hanger. I'm going to play this clip, and I don't even know if I'm going to make any comments. That's how upset I am about this entire situation.
Stunning story out of Idaho, where a mentally challenged black student athlete raped by several white teammates. That's right, folks. It is a stunning story that we are bringing to you. And so here's what happened. The victim, African American. What happened is all the teammates accused, of course, there are white. The rape took place in a high school locker room in the small town of Dietrich, Ohio. This is according to a civil lawsuit. The suspects, John R.K. Howard, Tanner Ward, and an unidentified 16-year-old, tricked the victim into accepting a hug. When the victim extended his arms for the hug, one of the football players grabbed him, held him down, while the other forced a coat hanger into his rectum. The third player then kicked the coat hanger several times. The incident took place in October 2015. It's been under investigation for months. Now, earlier this spring, Howard and Ward were charged as adults with forcible sexual penetration by use of a foreign object. According to the law in Idaho, every person who, for the purpose of sexual arousal, gratification, or abuse, causes the penetration, however slight, of a genital or anal opening with another person by any object, instrument, or device shall be guilty of a felony and shall be punished by imprisonment in the state prison for not more than life. The third suspect was charged as a juvenile, and all records in his case are sealed. In addition to the criminal charges, a $10 million federal civil lawsuit has been filed against the school district earlier this month. That lawsuit claims a young black teenager had also been a victim of countless racial and physical assaults by several members of the football team. The victim, according to the lawsuit, quote, was taunted and called racist names by other members of the team, which included Kool-Aid, chicken eater, watermelon, and the N-word. Another student drew this picture on the chalkboard at the school, showing that the victim should sit in the back of a school bus. The civil suit also includes 11 administrators and coaches who did nothing to stop the racial and physical abuse toward the victim. Joining us via Skype to discuss this is the attorney representing the victim's family in the civil lawsuit, Lee Schlender, and of course on our panel here, Dr. Jason Johnson, columnist and political science professor, Laura Coates, former federal prosecutor, Matt Stevens, political commentator and host of Politics and Prune Juice podcast, and George Jefferson Nuri, founding CEO of In the Public Eye Communications. This suit, Mr. Schlieber, is just stunning. And first and foremost, you allege the district and the coaches did nothing and they were aware of what was going on?
Yes, as far as we can tell. Remember that we have just begun our case. That the criminal case is the one that's really now active, and that's being handled by the Attorney General's office of Idaho. So the facts that we get as far as specific things that happened, who did what, are largely from the hearings in that case, which are now ongoing.
So, first of all, why did it take so long on the criminal side for them to be charged?
Well, it really didn't. The final act, the anal rape, occurred on or about October 22nd, 23rd, and depending upon various reports. And from the time it was investigated and then put together, the prosecuting attorney, the local one out there in this little town, had to make a decision whether they were going to proceed or they were going to send it on to the state and use the Attorney General's resources and people to assist in the case. And that's what they did. I think they did it appropriately.
This young man is described as mentally challenged. Now, is he on the football team or working with the team?
No, this is his first year of going out for football. He had always dreamed of playing football, and as all kids do. And he wanted to make the team very badly, and he went out in the summer to the football camps and made the team.
And so we say describing as mentally challenged, exactly what is his condition?
Rather than describe, specifically what his issues are, I'd rather just say that he was handicapped and disabled to the extent that under federal and state programs, he was entitled to have a tutor with him. And in class, not on the football field, not in the locker room, but in class, he had someone with him who had been assigned by the state. And he was doing very well. They have a wonderful family, and he was very well adjusted and doing fine in school.
What is the next phase?
The next phase is our investigation and what we call discovery in the United States federal court. We will be getting the statements of those people involved. We'll be making decisions as to how to proceed down the line here, and we expect it will be some time before there's much real development as far as our civil case goes against the school district.
All right, Lee Slender, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us from Idaho.
Sure.
All right. I really don't know what to say, to be honest with you. I mean, I post a lot of videos, and a lot of them have to do with interaction between white people, black people, Hispanics, etc. And a lot of those videos elicit responses from white people, Hispanics, and black people. Some of the more radical responses are really derogatory as far as black people commenting about the nature of white people. And honestly, I interact with a lot of different people over the various years throughout this country. And for the most part, I will tell you that my interactions have been pretty much positive, though there has been some negativity in some places, but I always chalk that up to it is what it is, and said something about it and then dismissed it, but I never allowed it to color my perception of people. I always try to judge a person by their own actions. Okay? Now, I've been screwed by black people, I've been screwed by Hispanic people, I've been screwed by white people. So as far as that's concerned, each race is an equal opportunity screwer. But again, I've been helped by black people, helped by white people, helped by Hispanic people, Asian people, etc. So that's why, my particular view might not be as colored, no pun intended, as others. But for this kid to be attacked in this way by these quote-unquote adults, young adults, whatever terminology or age bracket you want to place them in, where did they learn this behavior? And I refuse to believe that this is just something that they thought of in the spur of the moment. I have to believe that they learned this behavior from somewhere. And I don't believe that we're ever going to find out where these three kids learned this behavior. But to consider it anything but a sexual and racial attack, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, it is. But because as upset as I am about this, maybe my judgment is being somewhat biased. These guys need to get the maximum. When they are found guilty, and they will be, I have no doubt whatsoever about that. Criminally, they need to be sentenced to the maximum because of what they did to this mentally challenged person who happens to be black. And I say happens to be because I think if this kid was not black, I do not believe that they would have done this to this kid. So anyway, just, in Idaho, which, and I'm not even going to look up the stats, but I'm going to assume the state of Idaho and the town that they are located in, it's got to be easily 90% Caucasian. That's my opinion. It's got to be 90% or more Caucasian. And in my opinion, though I don't know it, I don't believe that there are a whole lot of black people in the particular town that this was located in. So where does racism come from? If the people living in this town are unbiased, even-handed, etc., and the black people aren't stereotypical welfare recipients, which is what is always thrown on us, druggies, lazy, etc., all the stereotypical things. If the family didn't have any of the quote-unquote Fox negative traits, then why was this kid attacked? It's called being a deviant. Now that can and is a learned behavior, deviating from the norm. So, there's nothing else that I can say about this, so I'm just going to end that here. But again, I just hope that, the juvenile, he's going to have an issue until he turns 18, and then he's probably going to be cut loose. But those two kids that are charged as adults, they absolutely need to get the maximums.